Hey there, thanks for watching. This is Christiana on The Well-Behaved Wallet, and I am here today to give you an update on my journey to minimalism, minimalistic life, and specifically how it regards my home and how it impacts the house that I'm living in right now and my plans to live simply and minimally at home. So just kind of an update on my situation and my minimal journey in general. I kind of came to a realization around 2012, so it's like almost 7 years ago now, and I completely, in sort of a fit of pique, went through all of my things and got rid of maybe 60% of them. Clothes, books, other miscellaneous things, donated, recycled, just got rid of them. So ever since 2012, I've been on a mission to live more simply. I pared my wardrobe down to a core color concept of black, white, gray, and then accent colors of blue and gold. And that's really informed my buying decisions going forward for myself personally. And I would say right now, in my personal space, I'm living in a fairly minimal environment. I strive to live simply and to not accumulate excess junk. And most of the time I think about bringing in new things, I think, is this useful? Do I need this? Do I love this? Is it beautiful? Will it add to my life, rather than just buying things to have them? So that's sort of my minimal path thus far in the mindset, the mental sort of journey that I've been on personally. And this is way before Marie Kondo. Similar concept of Does This Spark Joy? But the book that I used was Karen Kingston's Clear Your Clutter with Feng Shui, which I also highly recommend. Very simple and yet direct and very peaceful. It kind of brings order to this situation. Sometimes you feel overwhelmed with your clutter, and these resources give you kind of a step-by-step simple calming plan to help minimize the clutter around you and help guide you through releasing it. So that's where I am personally. And I'm actually coming to you today from a space that I had reclaimed in our house from a mountain of clutter. So kind of going into where I am kind of, I don't say globally, but I live in the house that I grew up in. My mom and I shared the space. She's currently abroad right now, but I am doing my best to work through this space here and releasing clutter, continuing to release my own clutter, because I have things stored in different areas of the house. Aside from my bedroom, I have like a tin of like childhood memory things, like a big Tupperware tub down in the basement, and I find little things of mine here and there. So really working to release that, but also using the same principles of releasing clutter in other areas of the house. So some background on that. This is the house that I grew up in. It's ridiculously expensive to maintain and to, I guess, to upkeep. The taxes in this area are sick. I know it's a common household homeowner worry, but since both of us are in kind of a transitional stage of life, like neither of us wants to stay in this state forever. So the ultimate goal is to sell the house and to move elsewhere, to buy elsewhere, wherever that would be. So with that goal of selling the house in mind and wanting to get as much as we possibly can for the house, we are on this mission to, both of us, but mainly me because I'm here, to release anything unnecessary that no longer serves. So with this idea of releasing the house and selling the house, we had a realtor come in a couple months ago to do a walk through the house and just kind of give us a general appraisal and say how much she thought the house was worth. So her first suggestion was we cleaned up madly, sort of trying to make the best impression, and her general opinion, because we had no idea, we looked at comps kind of casually, but we really didn't know what it would be worth. And she kind of gave us some tips for what to do to get the house ready to sell. Outdoors landscaping, getting rid of trees, power washing the house, things like that. But the first thing she did was she looked at these areas that we tried to hide, but there's no hiding when the realtor comes. She looked at these areas of clutter. And there were, when she visited, 5 key areas of clutter. And the first thing she said was, call junk luggers, call like 1-800-GOT-JUNK or something like that, and have them just take away all the clutter. And I was like, I was shocked because I'd seen the commercials, but it never would have occurred to me to use a service like that for our home. Because I'm like, that's our home, those are our, that's our things, our memories. and whatnot, but she's like, just get rid of them. And she was right. We're not using them. They're not of service to us. We don't know what's in those rooms, and chances are we're not going to miss it. So that was her first suggestion, and that's still kind of an option, I want to say. Like, if there was an emergency and something happened and we needed to move quickly, that's probably what we would do. But because we do have a little bit of time, not a lot, but a little, I kind of have taken the time to go through and to start working through some of this myself to kind of weed out what's important versus what's not important. So I'll kind of tell you those 5 areas and then tell you what I'm doing to try to sort through and save the money from calling God junk, because that stuff's expensive. Like, it can be like up to $800-900 per area to have them come and remove stuff. So that's a savings right there. But second, also to have, you know, the memorabilia in this room right here, the upstairs office, 2nd bedroom, 3rd bedroom area. I found things like my grandmother's letters, her just, you know, things from growing up, pictures. That's a huge one. There were pictures of like our second cousins in Czechoslovakia, like huge important things that we might not have known, but then I saw them and I was like, this is amazing. So my plan for that is to put them all into an album or put them all online, like digitize them somehow. So that's my plan for that. So the 5 areas that the realtor suggested coming and getting junk for were this upstairs, the 3rd bedroom, the middle room downstairs, which I've already shown you guys, the purple room by the garage is what we call it because the carpet's purple, the basement where I store my eBay inventory supplies, and then the back room bookcase, which I know I'm thinking books, like you never throw books away, but really, like, they're not rare. They're like paperbacks that are disintegrating, like you can't even turn the pages because they're like crumbling and falling apart. So that's basically garbage, which breaks my heart, but is true. Like, you can't, I can't afford to hold on to sentiment because when it doesn't serve anymore. So those are the 5 areas, and I'll kind of move through them. So the upstairs bedroom, and this is the area that I decluttered again over Labor Day before leaving for FinCon. It took me 3 days and literally 24 working hours over 3 days. And I sorted through, got rid of junk, and then organized the rest into labeled sections that, like, my mom had some professional papers up here, her license or certification. There's course materials here. There are materials from her former mentor and boss at the counseling school where she worked, and just family memorabilia and things like that. So I have them all organized in the closet, and the rest of the space is open for filming. That's why this area is entirely unfinished. Please excuse the stripe right here, which is where we used to have a shelf that I took down and put the desk there instead. But it's unfinished, but it's a lot better, heck of a lot better than what it was. And again, that took 24 hours, 24 working me hours. So that's the upstairs bedroom. The second area is the middle room downstairs, and that's where I do my like eBay shooting. And in February, that was the area that I was like, I can have this done in a month. Like, I could just take, give myself a month deadline and get it done. Much bigger project that I had anticipated. But again, that's where I found all these pictures, pictures of my dad, pictures of family growing up. So while we could have called junk luggers, those memories would have been lost. So I'm really glad that we took the time to kind of do that, that I'm planning to take the time to do that myself. The purple room in the back by the garage it's pretty organized. It just needs to be sort of sifted through. Things are in order. They just need to be sort of reduced. There are things like old clothes, games, books, toys, and like good toys too, like toys we want to keep, like Fisher Price classic play school kind of things. So we would want to keep that, and I have a plan for that. I want to make that into, because my mom does play therapy. I'd love for that to be like a play therapy area, but more to come. The most important thing is for it to be decluttered. The 4th area is the basement, which is where I store my eBay inventory, and that's something that really that's my stuff. So I can probably start there because that's where I have the most leverage, and that I know what's down there, and it's on me to kind of clear that out. So there's the basement, and I would say there are about 500 listed items down there that I have currently listed in my eBay store, and I will leave the link to the eBay store down below. And those just need to be sort of cleaned up. Right now the storage is in bins and it's all labeled, but it's just kind of I would like to have racks down there, like metal racks, so I don't have to like lift the bins up to get to what's underneath them. So that's my plan for down there. And just getting rid of clutter. I have a lot of packing supplies that could be neater. We have some music um, items down there, music library items. So that's also the plan for the basement. And then that back room bookcase, which I don't even have a picture of. It's a little hairy. But I would say that's the least critical at the moment, because it's neat for the most part. And there are some good books back there, and they're not my books, and they're not really hurting anyone. We can just kind of like pull a screen in front of it, and nobody knows that they're there. So that's not an area of concern right now. So the other 4 areas are kind of more pressing, especially in the basement, because there is some water damage in the ceiling. Our HVAC system is a little bit mature, is a little bit old, and especially this summer with the AC going, there's a lot of condensation on the pipe duct work, and that kind of dripped down into the ceiling. Now the ceiling's starting to buckle and bend, so not the best. So I would say the basement's probably the #1 priority right now. So those are the areas that I'm looking to focus in my sort of minimal journey moving forward, how I'm planning on saving some money and possibly making money depending on what I find down there. But I know that just peace of mind of having things in order and clear and easily identifiable is huge. So those are my plans for minimalism moving forward. Some of you have shared on my last minimal video, you really shared some amazing tips and things that you've gone through. Someone left a comment about what you do with a book is you write your name and write the city or where you were when you read it, and then pass it on or donate it. I think that's a fabulous idea, something to do with a paperback that is in good condition that you do want to pass along. So if you have any tips for getting rid of junk, or for dealing with clutter that's like in the past, not current clutter, but really working through, call it historical clutter, I would love to know that. And just kind of your general minimalism journey in general. It's really fun to share these tips with each other. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, I hope you'll keep watching.